Welcome back to Regular Guys Outdoors. I'm Chris. I've had a few requests to do a turkey gear, turkey vest dump, so here we go. First off, let's start with our vest. This vest I bought used a few years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and the brand is Redhead, and it's got the flip down seat that you would expect kind of on a turkey vest. So it's kind of used, it's kind of wore out a little bit, but I keep meaning to replace it, but I just haven't gotten around to it. So in my vest, I carry, in the back, I've got decoys. And I usually carry a hen and a jake. These two are kind of my favorite. They've got hard heads, but my mounting stakes are getting all jacked up and kind of beat up, so I'm kind of making do with them. Haven't been able to really find any. I've been looking a little bit for replacements, but I haven't really found any. But these are pretty good looking decoys. I don't know if you can tell, but I put some trash bag ties on the jake beard here to make it kind of pop a little bit so it's not so fuzzy. Make it really look like a jake. The hen, she's got a pretty realistic head. I've had to glue both heads back on because they kind of come off. In fact, this one's coming off again right there. But they look pretty good when they're set up. I've got 2 other sets of decoys. One I just got from, I think it was Fleet Farm in Wisconsin. I haven't used them yet, but they look really good, and they're just plain foam. And I have a set of older foam that I think are Flambeau foam decoys. I have those too, and those run on simpler stakes than these guys. These guys, when you set them up, you end up with this kind of a deal there. And this part goes up into the neck, and this part goes down into the body. And again, when it's going pretty good, but the little tabs that you attach everything to here, some of these tabs are breaking off. I got duct tape right there. So that's my decoys. I really like these particular decoys. I bought them used as well 4 or 5 years ago, and I keep using them. In fact, the Flambeaus are used. I bought those 4 or 5 years ago. In the back is also a camelback. Runs around to the front so I can just drink water as I need it. And I use the back also to put like my hoodie when it's cold in the morning. I'm wearing extra gear and then it warms up later. It all goes in the back here. Pockets. This thing has pockets for days. So we've got inside zipper pockets that are on the inside on both sides. And one time I misplaced a long sleeve t-shirt and found out it was in one of the inside pockets. This side is supposed to have, this is like for a pot call, and here's maybe for your shells, maybe your strikers, but this side is for your box call, and I use it for that. And I lost my Primos, I think it's made by Primos, the little keeper that goes over the box part, and then there's a piece of rubber that sits between the paddle so it doesn't make any accidental noise. So when you put it in that and then put it in here and you cinch this down, there is zero accidental noise. So then that goes back in there. This particular box call is my go-to box call. A couple people have asked about this, but this is the Mad Boom Box. I love it. It sounds great to me. I can manipulate it. Sometimes I'll use the box side against the paddle. I usually use the paddle side against the box like so. Once in a while I'll do like this if I'm going to try to purr. But if I'm just going to try to wail on it, I go this way. I can go a little softer. I can really crank it out. But Mad Boombox. So this side, I don't really carry anything over here. My calls fall out of this, and I don't really carry calls here. Once in a while I might put a pot call in here, but then on the other side is where I have some more stuff. So it's got this outside pocket, got a thermocell in the outside pocket. I might keep some extra shells in there, which I really could have used in Wisconsin. I've got a push-pull call, and this one, particular one, I had two, but I broke the other one. The other one was made by Night and Hail, I think. But this one's nice because you can dial that up and get your call in, but you can dial it back and it makes it hard to do an accidental noise while it's riding in your vest. So there's that guy. I love that guy. This is what I did the Fighting Purr sequence on in Missouri. And it is Night and Hail, and it does a good job mimicking two hens fighting. So that'll definitely draw in some jakes, maybe a tom. And I think that's it for my vest. Now, the thing I carry, I call this like my logistics pouch, but it also has turkey stuff in it. So this is a hip pack, and I almost always wear it around the front because the back side of the vest usually has decoys and sweatshirt and whatnot in it. So these little keepers I have on my water bottles. The bottles didn't come with it. These were from something else and I repurposed them. But these are just hair braids from the dollar store that I've looped around and taped. And I just put them over the caps to keep them in place. Otherwise, they will work their way out. So these will hold about 20 ounces of water, and between those and the Camelback in the vest, Camelback or the Walmart brands, I'm carrying 3 to 4 quarts of water, which will last me if I'm gone all day. So this front pocket usually has rangefinder and several different strikers. Some of these are kind of the carbon tip, and then one of them has the aluminum tip. Various makes and models of those. And this other side pouch here, this is where I'm going to carry my pot call. I like this one. And I got another one in here I'll show you in a second. I like that one. I think that's Thug Glass from the Turkey Thugs Mossy Oak. Here I keep a mouth call, sometimes two. Sometimes I'll have one in my chest pocket if I'm wearing a shirt with a chest pocket, and then I'll have one back up. Crow call. And this is chalk for the box call, and this is a little piece of sandpaper type stuff to rough up your pot call, because I have carried this in my pocket loose, and then over the course of walking a good while have smoothed the cloth in my pocket, smoothed out the surface, and I didn't have anything to rough it up with, so now I always carry that. So the other outside pocket here on the other side, kind of my turkey kill kit. I've got a pin and a Sharpie and some zip ties that I can put the tag on the leg. For Colorado, they use the paper tags, so got that. Headlamp of some sort, and these rubber bands are usually for a box call, to try to cinch it down and keep it quiet. Now in the main compartment, this is where my big logistical stuff comes in. I've got set of binos and my food and snacks. In here you'll find Laura bars, Kind bars, these other bars, and lately I've been putting that in there. In Missouri, when you can only hunt till 1300, 1 o'clock, that's all the food I need for the day. If I'm in Colorado and I might stay away from the truck a long time, then I'll have a little bit more stuff, jerky, nuts, trail mixy type stuff, probably even a V8 in there. Then I got a little knife. It's always nice to have a knife in case I want to or need to process the turkey right there on the spot. I got a little knife to do so. A couple spare batteries. And always baby wipes. I use a flushable baby wipe because I think that's going to decompose better out in the woods, so when you leave it with your business, you're not just leaving stuff to fly all over the place, as well as if you bury it, that's even better. And in the back I've got another pot call. This one's by Mad. And another backup, this chalk on this side and a green scratch pad on this side. So I can do my box call and my slate calls with this little guy. I just keep it in the back. And that's about it. I was carrying my bino harness with the binos in it, but then that's 3 things to have to put on and off if you're gonna take your stuff off and on. It's just extra stuff in here. So I just find with that turkey vest and this, I got 90% of the terrain covered. I got 90% of my days covered. Weather, like I said, the heavier stuff as I take it off can go in the back of that. And other than this gear, you know, I've got my gun with shells, the hat, gloves, and a face mask of some sort. And oh, almost forgot. I do like to use these. This year I was not as disciplined in wearing these, but these are the electronic earmuffs. This particular model, if you try to get an advantage and hear better than you can with your normal hearing, you end up with just too much white noise and just static. Every time you move, all you hear is movement of your clothes or your breathing. Every time you move your foot, all you hear is the leaves underfoot. So I use these not to get a audio advantage, but to protect my hearing while hunting without losing my hearing. So if you crank these up past maybe 10% of your normal hearing, it's just white noise and static and garbage. The other set I have are more comfortable to wear, and when you have them turned up all the way, they kind of return you to about your normal hearing, and they do a little better job of protecting your hearing. These kind of have a slightly sloppy fit, especially when you start talking about a hat, glasses, a GoPro head strap. These aren't so good. Sometimes these are a little better with the GoPro strap depending on where the buckle is. But sometimes I end up wearing them like this a lot because otherwise they sometimes start to give me a headache after a couple hours of having them just on or too close to my ears or squashing my ears. Then your ears are squashed on your glasses. Anyway, you get the idea of these things. I'm a big fan of these, especially if you're going to crack off center fire rifles out of ground blinds or box blinds, or even if you can when you're just hunting, just put these on, or those little earplugs that sit around your neck on the little plastic thing. Get those in real quick, save your hearing. You only got 2 sets of ears. 2 sets of ears? 1 set of ears. 2 ears for the rest of your life. So try to keep them protected. Well, that's all I got for this. Like I said before, I had a great turkey season. This stuff's going to come back into play hopefully a week or 2 sooner than it did this year, maybe late March. I don't know. We'll see where I end up. But until next year, hope your turkey hunting goes good. And don't forget about the fall season. If you're going after them in the fall, I wish you some good luck. I will, depending on time and how big game season works out and everything. Sometimes I like to get out and try to get into them. I'm about 1 for 3 or 1 for 4 on fall season, so not the greatest of luck. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, go ahead and give us a subscribe right over there. Thanks for watching.